JF Stretford, Paddock, and this is Paddock Live. And apologies for a few minutes late. I've just been buffing up my head. With me as always.
Oh, it's buffed.
It's buffed. Is Mr. Joe Smith. How are we doing, brother?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm good. I feel like it's... What are we on now? What day are we on? Tuesday. It's like the day before, the day before, the day before Christmas morning. Like, because it's all just like
Christmas
the Newcastle
Eve,
game.
Eve.
Yeah, 4 more sleeps, whatever they say.
Yeah.
3 more sleeps, as the kids say. We're all looking forward to that man, Cristiano Ronaldo, making his return debut. Is that what we're saying?
Just say debut.
Just say debut.
Yeah.
I like your style.
I like your style as well, Jay, and that's because you've been to paddockmerch.com and got the Ollie Tricky Reds hoodie. We've got loads of stuff on there. Make sure you check out paddockmerch.com. We've got the Fernandez. We've got your Ronaldo stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Here United sing. We've got your Bruno stuff, your Donny stuff.
Yeah.
All sorts on there. Mason Greenwood.
Greenwood.
If we've got them, we've got them.
Yeah.
So head to paddockmerch.com if you're interested.
There's a link in the description.
Getting things kitted out for the new season.
Go and check it out, man. Paddock merch.
What are we going to be talking about tonight?
Get involved in the comments, get involved in the chat, hit that like button as well. We're going to be talking about Donny van der Beek.
Love that guy.
Do love that guy. He obviously spoke to Mr. Stephen Howson. I mean, as if he's not got it bad enough. He's barely played a game for Manchester United and he gets lumbered chatting to Steve for an hour or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Poor guy. So we've got some quotes from him. Ronaldo, apparently, now this is a bit of an exclusive because you won't have heard this anywhere else because United have sort of kept this one under the radar. Cristiano Ronaldo has been at Carrington today.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I heard it here first because I know the
can't
United
believe
social media team barely mention him. So he's been at Carrington, meeting Ollie obviously and some of his teammates. We've also got Ronaldo. There you can see the paddockmerch.com link. Excuse me.
Yeah,
We've also got Ronaldo breaking records already with shirt sales.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, some stories there. An update on is he going to be coming to Old Trafford as a Manchester United player? Obviously not as a West Ham player playing at Old Trafford, but as a Manchester United player.
I love that distinction from you.
I think it's important to be accurate. We've got McTominay and Tellers are back in training.
Yep.
One's a fringe player, the other one isn't really. Sancho as well. Lingard contracts. There's a bit of intrigue there. Looks like Jesse's not having it. And Mason Greenwood. Player of the... I wrote here, player of the year. He's not.
Player of the season so far.
Yeah, of the season so far. Player of the month. Yeah. I mean, 3 goals in 3 games in the Premier League. He's been an absolute fire. What are you laughing at?
Carry on.
All right, okay. Say no more. You're not going to share it with us?
No, because it's just pure Ireland. Stupid. Go on, carry on.
I like Pure Isle.
Yeah.
So do get involved in the comments. Like I said, people saying it's lagging. It's out of frame.
Good stuff.
We've had a bit of an issue, I think, with some glitches in the machine. But we are trying to get it sorted. So do.
Apparently, if you skip backwards just 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it's fine. We think it might be a YouTube issue. We're trying to sort it out, but feel free to just spam that in the comments for the next hour.
Yes, as people will do. We will try and get it sorted. Right, we'll start off with Donny van der Beek then.
Yeah.
So he spoke to Stephen Howson on Rio Ferdinand's channel and said, every player, as you can see there from the graphic, every player has his improvements. You can improve every day and it's not a way to be angry. It is also not helping the team. I think you need to be positive and try to help them. I mean, he made all the right noises, didn't he, Donny van der Beek?
Yeah.
He said that he was... people were sort of thinking, is he going to spit his dummy out? His agent's been making noises about the fact he's barely played. Is he going to be making noises as well? Is he going to start firing shots at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or just Manchester United in general for the fact he's barely played? But he didn't. He sort of said nice things, and he looks like he's up for it. Because that's what I want to see now from Donny van der Beek. I understand he might be frustrated, and he hasn't had many games. At all, he's not even played, I think, in the Premier League this season, has he? He's not even kicked a ball.
No.
But he's got to take his chances when he gets them as well, because he hasn't. He did have some games last season where he just didn't do much for me.
No. Well, and also, what was the other expectation here? He was never going to... How would it possibly, short or long term, benefit him to come out and say, this is shit, they promised me a move to Everton, it fell through, it's all full of lies, I've been tricked, I shouldn't be here. In what way does that help him? That puts him in the reserves for the rest of the season. That means that he's less... I mean, yes, he'll get a move, but he's going to get a move to a smaller club because, people become aware that you've got an attitude problem. The only thing he could ever do was say, I'm going to work as hard as I can. I've spoken to the manager. He's told me that I'm in his plans. Like, he was never going to say anything else. Obviously, it's still the interview's good. It's worth watching if you haven't seen it already. As we see Cristiano Ronaldo peeking out from the behind Donny van de Beek there. Very interesting.
Oh,
Just
yeah, what's
sneaking
going
up
on
behind
there?
him. And he's
Yeah.
disappeared. As fast as he was there, he disappeared. Like Santa on Christmas Eve. But of course he's going to say that. There is a big difference. I'm a little bit stronger and also have 1 year experience in England. If you see me now and in the beginning, you'd see a big difference. Again, he's saying the right things as you would expect. But again, unless he's an utter either knobhead or someone who's thick, which he doesn't seem to be either of those things, he's never going to say anything other than, I'm training hard, I'm here for the team, I'll play when the manager needs me, I've spoken with the manager, things are going well, I think we can win stuff this season. He's saying all the things any sane person would say, so it makes sense. And
you can't really, this isn't Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009, is it?
No.
Where you can start saying, well, where will I end up? Only God knows where I'll end
Yeah.
up. Am I happy? I'm always happy, or any of that sort of
Yeah.
nonsense. Because he's not really in that kind of position. No. Also, if he has got any aspirations of playing in the World Cup and forcing his way into the team, he has got to keep, his manager relatively happy.
Yeah.
He can't be coming out and saying, Ollie's an idiot and I want to leave.
And if he wants to move to like Real Madrid or, Inter Milan or, one of the big clubs around Europe, Bayern Munich or something, I'm not saying he does. Even if he's desperate to leave and he wants to move to one of these clubs, you're not going to get that by showing you've got an attitude problem. So I think he's done what you would expect him to do. I think he'll get some chances this season. Again, he's got to take them at some point. Because I know Bruno Fernandes came in, he started straight away, he just played every game, but he also was brilliant from the start. Donny, whilst he didn't have many minutes, I think he started 4 games or something, 2 games, something in the league, more than that overall. He did get like 29 appearances last season, which, yes, you can say, well, he needs more than that to prove himself. Well, if you're real, the real top players generally don't need more than that to prove themselves.
No.
So he either needs to improve as a player, or he needs, a run of games that seems unlikely at this point. But either way, you've got to start doing it. If you're ever going to do it, now's the time to do it, because you're going to struggle otherwise. And like I said, the real top players force their way into the squad regardless of what happens. So hopefully he can do that.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's what I want to see from him. He's obviously, he's done the physical side of thing. He's worked out. He's got a good attitude.
Yeah.
All right, his agent might spout off a bit, but that's what agents do. They want to keep the players. They don't just want to keep players happy. Agents. They want the players to feel like, I've got your back. I'm about you. All I do is wake up in the morning. I think about you and how your life can be better. So it just sounds like a little bit of that, to be honest with you. I like Donny van de Beek. I do wonder if he's going to get any games this season. I really do, because everyone's sort of talking about him in the 6. He spoke about playing in the 6, but he spoke about playing in the 6 as though it wasn't like his main position, and I don't think it is.
No.
And it's like, I can't imagine, this is the thing, I can't imagine a scenario where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sees some of the performances of likes of Fred and Matic, knows that Donny van de Beek can play there, but won't play him.
Yeah.
I think there's got to be a thing there where he just knows he's not quite cut out for that position. I think Donny van de Beek is probably better in a 10 or maybe as an 8. And there's not many chances going for that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to play in a 10, you got Bruno, you got Paul Pogba can even play there.
Yeah, Sancho can play there as well.
Sancho can play there. Yeah. Even Jesse can play there. Jesse might, the forgotten man, but let's not forget, against Southampton, Jesse came on and Donny van de Beek didn't. Jesse just banged in a couple of goals for his country. He's getting games.
Yeah, got more goals in the league than Donny did last season.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, he had that wonderful spell at West Ham, which reminded everyone of what he's capable of. Donny van de Beek needed the Euros. He really did. And obviously got injured, didn't kick a ball in the Euros. That's a really disappointing front, for not just for him, but for Manchester United. You can see there from the graphic, when I was 16, I was really number 6. I always played 6 and never go deep or anything. Then I get a new coach in Ajax when I was 16, 17. Said, Donny, you can make a lot of goals, but I want you higher up the pitch now. Then I changed my style a little bit and got more offensive. We need to, as well, forget about this when I was 16.
Yeah, that's 7 years ago.
Like, that's like Aaron Wan-Bissaka when I used to be a winger. Well, you're not now, are you?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Gary Neville used to be a midfield when he was a kid.
He used to be a cricketer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't just see him coming out with his pads on just because he fancies being a bit more defensive. Just fucking blocking everything back. Gary, but I used to be a cricketer when I was 16.
Yeah.
Times have changed. You're 24 now.
This is the thing. I think we have to sort of temper expectations about this. Just this idea of, stick Donny in the 6. He'll do a job there. Yeah. He used to play there, so it's fine. I don't think it is.
You look good in that hoodie, Have you worn that one yet?
Yeah, I wear it now and again. I've got like the Bruno one. I've got this one.
I see the Bruno one. I don't see you in that one as much.
Yeah,
I like that.
quite, yeah.
I might get a white one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
I like
I
white hoodies.
like the design. It's like, you know.
White hoodies are good, but my God, do the cuffs get scuffed and stained, don't they? You lean on your table for 2 seconds, you look and but you know what? That's why you've just got to be crisp. Get that Daz on it.
Like
Paddockmerch.com.
do you know what I mean?
And then tighten the strings a bit as well. Tighten the strings.
Remember when David Cameron said hug a hoodie?
Did he?
Yeah, that was a nice moment, wasn't it?
Hug a hoodie. As in hug someone, like hoodies, as in like people who wear
people
hoodies.
that wear hoodies, yeah. Next time you're getting a bit of grief on the estate, a load of hoodies, just go up to them and give them a hug. That's all you need. Bit of TLC.
Yeah, that'll
nice
fix you right up.
That was a great idea. Should we move on to Cristiano Ronaldo because we've not spoken about him for a bit?
Yeah, the bastard.
Yes, he's been in Carrington, doing the rounds, saying hello to everyone, shaking hands, pressing the flesh, as they say.
Would you rather hug a hoodie or press the flesh? And let me tell you what the flesh is.
Yeah.
It's the flesh, the sort of 1 cubic inch or square inch below the coccyx
Right.
on John Prescott in 2005.
Right, okay.
And you have to go like that.
Yeah, I'd love to press that. 2 fingers, hey. Oi,
Not quite the hole, but not the back.
oi, 2 jags.
Yeah, 2 jags. How about 2?
Yeah, exactly.
that.
I didn't think when we started this stream that we'd be talking about fingering John Prescott.
No, we're not. Well, I suppose we are fingering, but not in his actual hole.
Certainly not 11 minutes in. I thought
No.
we'd at least wait until the end.
Yep.
So I think we've covered Cristiano Ronaldo. No. Yeah, you can see there. He spent his first day back at Carrington.
Wait.
Ronaldo trained Metal in his teammates at Carrington. He's set to make his debut against Newcastle.
He's
and
playing.
tickets are like rocking horse shit.
Yeah.
You cannot get a ticket for love nor money. My phone has been ringing off the hook.
Has it?
It's bad.
Is it?
Really
You promised some gangsters some tickets, didn't you? And now you can't get them.
promised nobody, especially gangsters, anything. Because I've got people, it's weird, right? Because people like work in media who I think must have accreditation and
name
like
them.
getting in touch.
Who's asking?
No, I'm not going to
Nah, fucking name them.
Let's like people.
Nah, name them.
No, my mate's his mate. I'm not going to do that. And it's damn.
Can I guess?
Yeah, if you want.
Mike Phelan.
How the fuck did you get that?
I don't know. You can't get a ticket. You can't get one.
No, people work at the club can't get them.
Really?
People, yeah, honestly.
People work at the club. People work at like newspapers and that.
Yeah, people work in newspapers. People work at like ESPN and Sky and that. People not presenting, obviously,
that
but
down a
like,
bit.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, have you got any tickets? Like, it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it for just a league game. What, second league game at Old
The
Trafford?
second home league game against a team that will probably finish bottom
Like,
half.
even the
isn't a rival.
hospitality, you know, the £2,000 tickets. Do you know what I mean? Like, those ones have all gone. You know, when you meet, like, I don't know.
Yeah, David
France,
Hay,
yeah.
Frankie Dettori. They're the sort of players.
When I went, I got given it one.
Who was
It's on
in it?
hospitality. Stephen Howson.
No, it wasn't. Jesus.
It was Frank Stapleton.
Eamon Holmes.
Yeah,
Right.
When I went to the thing and it was Eamon Holmes, I demand my money back.
Yeah.
Immediately. He's not nothing to do with United.
But,
he's a
I
fan.
thought you meant just people who were in there.
No, because you meet
the
legend, don't you?
speakers. Oh, no,
like,
no.
They just come round. I feel bad for him, man. Because
Right.
it's like, it's not even like a speaker.
Yeah.
It's like they just come round and like,
And have a
you
chat.
know, chat and say,
Yeah.
you know, and chat to you and all that. And, but a lot of these people are in corporate.
Stapleton.
Yeah. Like, I like Frank Stapleton. He's a bit before my time, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I knew he was, and I knew like he played in, like when Kevin Moran got sent off in the 85 final, I think Stapleton went into defence. I knew a little bit about that. He went to Ajax after he left United. And also, one of the lads I was with knew a little bit about rugby, Irish rugby. So I got a couple of pointers on that.
Love that.
Because I don't know anything about Irish rugby, but Frank Stapleton likes his Irish rugby. So I had a couple of things I could chat to him about, and it wasn't an awkward conversation. It was like a brief, okay conversation. But I could see him walking around the room to like people who were obviously on a bit of a day out or didn't know who he was. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Did you know it was going to be him before you went?
no, you found out when I got there.
Wow.
Like, James Young got someone, I can't remember who it was. He got someone like, I don't want to
Steve Coppell.
It was someone like that was just, I think it was Ashley Grimes, and it was just like,
What from?
yeah, well, no, not from Corrie. There's the footballer Ashley Grimes, but like he's so before James Young's time.
I don't know him.
Yeah, it was like ridiculous. That's like Billy Meredith for me or something. So it's just like
violent.
Yeah, it's just like James Young is just like, what is that about? Like he's only James Young only 18 or 19. So yeah. Yeah, it was one of. I don't even know where we ended up on that. But that was what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo.
So the tickets to go like hotcakes.
Yeah, they are going like hotcakes. Sorry, that was it. Shirt sales through the roof. Tickets going like hotcakes. He's been round at Carrington. Even like everything about Ronaldo to United has sent everything through the roof on it.
Yeah.
Like the most engagement, if you care about that drivel, on socials, like the most liked tweet they've ever had when they announced it.
Most liked tweet of any sports team, I think, ever.
Like, and to be fair, you know, if you're in that world or you're trying to push something, then that's obviously something you can brag about. The shirt sales went through the roof, you know, and I'm not going to start judging people on buying shirts because, you know, it's up to them. Someone, Adam says, Jay didn't reply to my tweet last night. FFS, sorry about that, Adam. Apologies.
He's probably just asking for a ticket for the Newcastle game.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything off the pitch about him arriving is fantastic. You know, everyone's buzzing, everyone's giddy. He's breaking all his records, but we need to see what he's going to do on it. Don't we?
I did notice as well with the training pictures, they were sort of cutting. They did a video, obviously the pictures him walking out with Juan Mata, the Dallo picture that seems to have gone viral already, where Dallo's just looking back at him like it's actually him. He's here. But it did seem they were sort of cutting from a team training session video that didn't have Ronaldo in back to a solo training session video that was Ronaldo and a coach. So I'm thinking maybe today, first day back, first sort of training in a few days, because obviously apparently he'd been isolating, but we'll get to that in a second. I think he just seemed to do just a bit of solo work, or maybe they just didn't film the main session. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was just having a bit of a one-to-one, go around, meet everyone, just do an hour, get settled in. Here's your peg, here's your locker, you know, all that shit. Do they do all that? They've got lockers, surely.
This is your desk. This is where you're working. That's Jean. Don't worry about her.
Yeah,
She's just going through a bit of a
breakup.
Going through a bit of a breakup. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not Paddock FC. So yeah, I think it might be a bit of that. But there were these rumours that he's got to isolate for 5 days and that he came back on Sunday and he was going to have to isolate till Thursday. Do you remember all this? Well, it's Tuesday and he was training today, so that was a load of shit, wasn't it? Do you remember that fear-mongering you've got to isolate rumour that was going round? Well, it's Tuesday and he's training, so he's probably got 2 more days of training left. I would assume he'd be at the training ground tomorrow and Thursday. So there's no way. I'd be willing to. I mean, I don't think you'd take it. I think he starts against Newcastle. I bet you a £5 that he starts against Newcastle.
Do I think he'll start against Newcastle? I think he would. I mean, yeah.
Because he's in that position as well where he's going to start up front. It's not as important that he's gelled with everyone.
Yeah.
If he's central midfield, you're like, where's he going to be? He's got a partner to worry about all this. I think as a striker, his job is hold the ball up, get in the 18-yard box, put it in the back of the net. I think he'll start. I'm excited as hell.
Right, Adam. Again, Adam is saying if you about before the game. If you are about before the game, mate, give me a shout. On Saturday, I'll be there. Danny Shields in the super chat says they know there's lag, folks. Calm down. Focus on getting to 605k even subscribers. Get hyped for CR Saturday.
I'm sure Cam's trying to fix the lag.
Paul Cushion says Viva Ronaldo, GGMU. Yeah, so we mentioned this earlier, didn't we, about the shirt sales. Ronaldo's broken all these records with shirt sales and stuff like that as well. I mean, you know, it's positive for the club, but it doesn't make a lot of difference to fans. I don't really care about things like that, do you?
No. No, it's interesting. It goes along with a wider sort of swell of interest in United, which obviously we're already about as, you know, we have as much interest as any club in the world anyway, but even to see that sort of grow further is quite exciting and quite... not surprising, but, you know, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I just can't wait. Just can't wait for Saturday, as the song says. Should we talk about Declan Rice?
Yeah. Rice!
Declan Rice.
Sorry.
I mean, this one's been doing the rounds for about 2 years now, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? He was linked with us, like I said, 2 years ago. At the time, he wasn't really in the England team. He was only a youngster. He'd had like handful of good games for West Ham, and the quotes were around 80 million straight away. Everyone was like, that's ridiculous. You know, I remember Adam McCullough was like, really? But then from that point onwards, he's had a pretty top draw career, hasn't he? He's like been really good for West Ham. Obviously, they were at the business end of the season last season and doing it again this season. He's been a big part of that. Did very well in the Euros. I was quite impressed with him, to be honest with you. I thought him and, was it Calvin Phillips, linked up well in that sort of midfield role. And now it looks like United could be making a fresh approach for him. There's these rumours, isn't there, that Ollie's earmarked him as his main target. That's the player he wants next summer. And I think there's this, like, maybe not, say new approach, but the sort of thinking now at United is getting the first team players. Let's not get 4 squad players in.
No.
Let's get first teamers in.
Yeah.
Even if you have to sacrifice the amount of players you can gain, if you're getting one in who's going to go into the first team, that's more important. And I think Rice could do a job. I think he really could. I'd be happy to see him at United. You look at that as well. He's valued at around 63 million quid. I think you'd probably end up paying more for him. He's only young. He's an England international. 63 million quid nowadays.
It depends what year he has this year as well. I think
that's a good shout. That's a fair point.
That's largely injury free. You're looking at 75, 80 million. I think. I don't think he's worth that at the moment. If he has what the year he had last year, I think probably looking 55 to 65. That probably makes sense. But I do think he's a good player. I think he needs to take another step before he's a top player in that position. But again, it's the question is, does he improve Man United's starting 11? Yeah, he does. And how much are you willing to pay for that? Is there anyone that improves it more available for a similar fee? I don't know.
Well, it's like he's Basuma's the flavour of the month, and everyone loves him.
Yeah, but we need to see more from you than one decent season.
Yeah, and he got man of the match against Watford, which I'm not discrediting him. Getting man of the match against anyone is good. But we haven't seen as much of him at the top level as we've seen from Declan Rice.
And also the pressure, I think someone like Fred, at a team like Brighton or Watford or Norwich or Newcastle, whatever, I think Fred would stand out as an excellent player. Yeah. When the pressure isn't on them to then find the next pass forward, when it's just get the ball and people are still giving a round of applause for the tackle and they stop paying attention to the next thing. Fred's very good off the ball. He's good at winning the ball back. It's those passes, it's that the brain side of things where he just loses his shit because the pressure and the expectation is so high at United. I think at a team where it wasn't quite so high, where you're still getting the round of applause for getting the tackle in, I think he would stand out as a top player. Taking that step up as a CDM is so difficult. So, yeah, I think I would go with someone that's a bit more proven. I think Declan Rice is more proven than Basuma at this point. No,
I agree. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Ryan R says Basuma might be 90% as good as Rice for 40% of the cost. Mohammed Ali says...
Well, yeah, he might be 90% as good, but why don't we get the player that is better of the two?
Yeah, unless you're Joel Glazer, who gives a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't care about saving the money.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could get it if this was our... say only signing, because it'd be a bit disappointing if we didn't bring in other players. But if this was our main signing, then I'm all for that. Rather than bringing in, say, two £40 million players who's a squad players. I think we've actually got youngsters who can augment the squad next season. I think the likes of maybe Ethan Laird, maybe James Garner.
Hannibal, maybe.
Who, sorry?
Hannibal
Medjugorje is a great shout, yeah.
Of course, Alanga.
Do you know what I mean? Those players could play 20 games maybe next season. Not this season, but next season. So you don't need more squad players. Because, Diallo comes in and I know he's
still got Pellistri knocking about.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you just do go for the first teamers because you've already got the squad players. That can do a good job. I think Anthony Elanga can do a very good job for Manchester United. And even better next season, you'd suspect, because he's had an extra season under his belt. Danny Shields says, flogging a dead horse from an Irish perspective again, but if he'll F off for Chelsea at the first opportunity, no loyalty. There's been a few people commenting about the fact that Declan Rice used to play for Republic of Ireland and then he changed countries to England, obviously. I mean...
The difference with that is he can't just choose to leave for Chelsea if he's under contract. That's the difference. If he signs a 6-year deal at United, he's not leaving after 2 years just because he fancies it. He can't...
I get like tempers run high and emotions run high with that. Like Jack Grealish did a similar thing, didn't he? And it's like, people don't like to see that a player that you thought was going to play for your country, and obviously a talented player, and then he decides to go
Especially with the history of...
Yeah, the history. So I understand why people would be, against that if they've got affiliations with Republic of Ireland. From my personal point of view, I think he's a good player. I wouldn't have any problems with him coming to Manchester United. I wouldn't be worried he's going to leave us in the lurch. I think if he signs a contract, he's not going anywhere until that contract ends or we decide to sell him.
Yeah, exactly. There's been rumours Paul Pogba's wanted to leave for 4 years. Yeah. He's still there. He's still playing for us.
Exactly. And this is a player that left us already.
Yeah.
He gave us a warning in 2012 when he said, no, I'm not signing a new deal.
Leave. I'll tell you right now, I'm willing to leave.
I'm going to go Juventus, Sir Alex. I don't want to play for you. Yeah, went to Juventus, slagged us off a lot while he was there, don't forget.
Whatever.
And then we went, will you come back? And he went, all right then. And then ever since he got it, he's like, I might go again. So it happens, it's not a problem. Derek Best says, does Ronaldo bring back the long sleeves? And B, I like that, 1 and B, does he start banging in free kicks again?
No. Yes, no. I hope he brings back the long sleeve. I used to love
yes and no.
No one wears long sleeve kits anymore. They wear short sleeve kits with long sleeve, like fucking Nike
Body
Pros underneath.
things.
Body gloves.
Body gloves. Hey. Body fetish. Yeah, I think I would like to just see him come back and wear the number 7 shirt, but you know, no one's spoken about what shirt he's going to have, so who knows? It's a mystery.
25.
25, yeah.
Imagine if we'd have given Sancho the 7 shirt, by the way, earlier in the summer,
Yeah.
and then we had to take it off him again.
You would have, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You would have said, like, Jaden.
That would have been great. That would have been one of
How
those
are you settling in,
questions.
Jade?
Yeah.
How are you getting on?
Doing well, yeah.
Yeah.
Loving the new shirt. Thanks for sorting that around. You got rid of James, took it off. You know, I love all that.
The new what?
The new number 7 shirt that you gave me just a couple of weeks ago. I've only played one game in it.
Are you sure? I don't think 7. You're 21, aren't you?
JS7 on
No,
social
I'm
media.
pretty sure. Hang on a minute. Yeah, definitely 21. Yeah, I think 21. 21 is coming. That's the best one, that.
Yeah.
You don't want 7. We'll let Ronnie have that one. Hey, you have 21. It's better. It's higher.
It is higher, yeah.
More numbers.
Just feels like it
Yeah.
downgrade.
No. Why don't you go and put the kettle on, eh?
Okay.
Parched.
Ronnie likes an Earl Grey.
Yeah.
No milk.
Come on.
Pouring Coca-Cola in the mug, you fucking twat. Right, what's next? I honestly think if Cristiano Ronaldo drinks Coca-Cola, he'll fizz and just his a pile of clothes on the floor with loads of ash. If he drinks Coca-Cola, there are people say like Bruce Lee died because he had painkillers.
Yeah,
and
I've
his
heard
body was minus 6% fat, and it
Yeah.
was so pure that the painkillers touched him and he died. That's what happened if Ronaldo drank Coke. He would literally just crumble into dust.
Do you think
just
he
a
has
kick
like
on the floor?
his diet and everything is so perfect in
Yeah.
terms of what a footballer should be having that he won't even have like the odd glass of wine or the odd bottle of Coke or whatever?
I just think he has powders. It's just
Really?
different powders from the ground bones of.
Where do you stand
children
on this
from around the
argument?
world.
Right? I saw this debate come up again.
Yeah.
That if Rooney had Ronaldo's, I don't like saying application because Rooney dedicated his life to football. Let's not kid ourselves here. This was a guy who, when his mates were going out getting leathered.
Yeah,
like,
he was staying in and getting leathered
Yeah.
by Phil Bardsley.
Yeah, no, but like when he was a kid and your mates
Yeah.
were going out and all that and smoking weed or whatever, he was just playing football and obviously, reached the very top. But there's a thing that he's still like you say, he did drink, he did go out, he did put on weight in the summer, he did like have that lifestyle of like a bit sort of almost.
There's picture of him smoking fags as
Yeah,
well, isn't there?
smoke. Didn't like, I'm not saying he ruined himself 'cause he didn't.
No,
but
he didn't go.
Remember that
like,
game against Everton, I think last time we won the league? The first game. I think it was the first game where I look better now than he did.
Yeah.
Like, physique-wise.
Sweating.
He
Before
looked
the game,
like
he didn't even
Eden
kick off.
Hazard's
Yeah.
more overweight brother.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my, and he was knackered after like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is this? We're like, this isn't a pre-season. This is the season.
This is happening.
Like, you know what I mean? City just won, like, what are you doing? But then he turned it around like within a week, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that catches up with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of players that in the 80s and 90s especially would have had 4 more years or so at the top if they hadn't have done what they'd done. And Rooney's not as egregious an example as them. But I think he basically stopped being a top level player at 31.
Yeah.
That's young.
But-
That is young. I know he started at 16,
Yeah,
but
that's
Ronaldo
the
was playing for
counter-argument.
Sporting at 16. I think the confusion is, and it's not confusion because I know he did play a few more games. But you look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo, first of all, is almost as good as Rooney ever was now at 36.
Yeah.
He's almost as good as a Pete Rooney. I think you'd take a Pete Rooney over 36-year-old Ronaldo, but it's close. Do you know what I mean? He's scoring more goals last season than Wayne Rooney did in his career in a single season. And also, Ronaldo was playing for Sporting at 17. I know it's not the Premier League, but it's not like Ronaldo turned professional at 26 and every other player turns professional at 26. I get he played a lot of games earlier in his career, but to drop off so quickly, what is he now, 35? He's younger than Ronaldo, and he's a manager, and he's been playing in the MLS and in the Championship and for Everton for the last 3-4 years.
I think, yeah, because my question is, do you think that had he applied himself,
Definitely.
he would have reached Ballon d'Or winning levels and...
Maybe not that, because
there was a time...
there was a time where he hit
don't
pretty much
forget,
his peak.
I don't know how old you were in 2006, but...
12.
Yeah, there
13.
was an argument, and I think if it had been like, if he'd gone to a poll, Rooney would have won. If those two fell out during the World Cup in 2006,
Oh, yeah.
who are you going to get rid of? More people probably would have chosen to get rid of Ronaldo. I mean, United fans.
And I think
I'm not saying United fans didn't like Ronaldo, but given that choice, you would have thought Rooney's probably going to have the better career at that time.
Yeah, I think Rooney did hit his peak. I don't think he would have been a a better single point player, 2010 at his best. I don't think he would have been better than that if he'd have done things differently. I think he could have lasted longer if he had. I do think that.
And I do think the thing with Rooney as well is he was a selfless player at times. Van Persie won the Golden Boot playing alongside Wayne Rooney. Dimitar Berbatov won the Golden Boot playing alongside Wayne Rooney. Cristiano Ronaldo won the Golden Boot playing alongside Wayne Rooney. And we all won the league in every one of those seasons as well. So it was a successful season, and his teammate won the Golden Boot. With Ronnie, he's the main man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's not a criticism of him because he's bangs in goals for fun. But Rooney was happy to not be the focus of things. And even you go back to that sort of the attacking trident of Rooney, Ronaldo and Tevez. Rooney was the one that did a lot of the donkey work in that. Rooney was the one that was dropping deep a lot of the time.
Yeah, he covered a lot of miles.
Yeah. You know what I mean? When the others weren't. I mean, Tevez did it a little bit as well, especially in Europe, defending from the front or whatever. But Rooney used to drop deep and be happy to muck in a little bit more than the other two, especially. So
don't get me wrong, he's got a lot of miles on the clock, and he's not. I'm not saying he's not like he retired at 28, is it? But from the age of about 31 onwards, he was not the player, even remotely the player that he had been even 2 or 3 years earlier. He did drop off very quickly.
He did, and I felt it was bad for Rooney because the team dropped off around him as well. Like 2013, like Rooney for me did well in 2013 because he dovetailed perfectly with Van Persie. Van Persie had 10 games anyway, didn't score, I think. I remember Rooney getting a few goals. I think he got an important winner at, is it Fulham? If memory serves. But he picked up the slack. Yeah. So your strike partner stopped scoring, you start scoring, United kept winning, we win the title. Do you know what I mean? He did that very well. But that was like it after that season. There was no more great United teams. Moyes was a disaster. Rooney, he still weighed in with like 10 and 12 goals and stuff like that, but we weren't winning titles. No. It's just an interesting debate that's been raised, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
I can see you getting anxious too. McTominay and Telles are back in training.
Great.
I mean, it is though, isn't it? Let's have it right. Yeah,
is, yeah,
I know. People might look at what do you do, but we need Scott McTominay.
Yeah,
I think if everyone's fit, he could be the main man in number 6.
Me too. I think if you look at the way he's improved over the last 2 years, and I was saying this the other day, other than Mason Greenwood, I don't think anyone at Manchester United has improved as much as he has in the last 2 or 3 years. I think he, as in like maybe 3 or 4 years, he went from being
even Marcus
probably has, but he was still getting, 10 goals 3 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I know he's up to 20. He's definitely improved a lot. Maybe it's even, or maybe it's slightly more. But Marcus came in and was playing every game for United.
Yeah.
Basically since he started. Yeah. I know a lot of it was as a sub, and under Jose things are a bit different. But I think Scott McTominay has gone up a level, up a level, up a level every single season. But the thing to remember with McTominay is he started here. Marcus started here. The expectation around Marcus was much higher than it was around Scott McTominay.
Oh, mate, after his debut, the expectation on Marcus.
The expectation around Scott McTominay was he will never be a first-team Manchester United player. So obviously Rashford is better, but he had such a head start on McTominay in terms of quality when they were both, say, 18. That's what I'm saying. The improvement is staggering from McTominay. He never seemed like he'd be that kind of player.
I think there's a sort of trait as well with some United fans to hate on McTominay. For me, an academy player gets more credit a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets more patience, you get more time, you get even a little bit more love because you've come through the academy. You're affiliated with United. United have always had close ties to the academy. You go back to the days of Busby and all the rest of it, and you might see a player that you've seen as a kid grow. You've watched him in the under-21s or the academy team. You've seen him in the under-23s. You've seen him make his debut. You've seen him grow. And I think that whilst people like me and you, and we respect that, I think there's an element of United fans where they're just like, oh, he's only in it because he's an academy player. Yeah. Oh, he's a symbol of what's going wrong with his club and that sort of nonsense. And he gets stick from certain quarters because he's an academy player. Yeah. And I think if you forget about it, we forget about it and they forget about it. We just look at him as a footballer.
Yeah.
Has he reached his ceiling?
No.
Is he a good player for Manchester United?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's a good player for Manchester United.
Does he get better every year?
Yeah. Who's not reached his ceiling?
Yeah,
He's going to improve.
Yeah.
Is he at an age where he can improve? Yes, he's 24, I think.
Yeah.
So what's the issue here with Scott McTominay? There isn't one. No. Is he a player that's looking to move?
No.
You know what I mean? Have you got to get him off your wage bill?
No.
So just keep Scott McTominay, watch him develop, and with a bit of luck and with the right sort of, if he keeps himself fit and all that jazz, he can be the player we hope he can be. Because I remember Darren Fletcher, who he's often compared to. If Twitter had been around in about 2006, 2005, Darren Fletcher would have closed his account and probably stopped playing football. Fergie's love child, awful.
Yeah.
You know, only in there because he's Scottish.
Yeah.
People used to hate on him, and, and you know, he's playing the right wing at times. I don't know what he was doing with him now. Yeah, by 2009, him getting injured, or sorry, him getting suspended, was considered the reason that we didn't beat Xavi and Iniesta in the Champions League final. That's the levels he was at and the respect that United fans have for him.
Became United's most important defensive midfielder.
Yeah, exactly.
The most important player.
So why can't that happen with McTominay?
Yeah, and I think as well, I know I keep going back to it, but midfielders showing improvement is so important, and players showing improvement generally is so important. You look at someone like Anthony Martial, who, you know, I'd like to be able to pick a different example because I'm sick of criticising Martial. I don't.
To be fair though, Joe, you've been out on yourself there because you are very balanced with it.
Yeah, but you look at how much he's improved since he was 19 when we signed him, Anthony Martial. It's not that much, is it? Was it 14 goals he got in his first season? Somewhere in the teens.
17, I think.
17 goals in his first season.
I might be wrong there,
then it's like 15, 16, 23, 6. Anthony Martial is essentially the same player we bought when he was 19. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of players like that. Most players improve 10%, maybe. A little bit more, a little bit less. Scott McTominay has improved a lot in the last 3 or 4 years. And I think if he can keep improving, he makes more sense to me than Fred does. Because he's almost as good as him defensively. Statistically, not quite as good, but not far off. And again, let's hope we can see more improvement. And going forward, I think he's much better on the ball. He's clearly much more of a goal threat. I mean, was it 7 goals he got last season?
I think
and
it was.
There's a point where he was our 3rd highest goal scorer. Before Cavani started scoring goals, there was a good while where it was Bruno, Rashford, McTominay. So he got some important goals for us last season, and I think if he can keep improving, he's massive to have back. Because also, no offence to Matic, he's been a great player, and as everyone always says, if he was 26, we'd win the league. But if he takes Matic's place, he improves on what we have now with a 33-year-old Matic. He's much better than him.
No, I agree. Just in the super chat, Ankit Agarwal says, any worries about Bruno being pushed into a deeper role with Cristiano in the 11? Just a little anxious that his influence wanes. What do you think, lads?
I think he'll get less goals. I think Ronaldo's taking penalties off him.
I'm not mad on that, mate.
But me neither. But if it does happen, and Bruno does get some less goals and less assists, it's all about the team. It's whether it makes the team better, and I think it does make the team better. Obviously, he'll get maybe hung up a little bit on his personal numbers because that's what players are like, that's what human beings are like. But if, you know, there was no other number 10s in the world that got 30 goals and 19 assists, I think it was last season. No one got close to that. No number 10s got close to that in the world, and we didn't win anything.
So he'd swap that, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Do you think Steven Gerrard would swap all those Premier League goals and matches for a medal? Of course he would.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. So if he gives 5 of his goals to Ronaldo, or 10 of his goals to Ronaldo, 5 of his assists to Sancho, and they also get 20 of their own, 10 of their own, you know, if that happens, we're a better team for it. We're more likely to win trophies. And I think even Bruno would make that swap, let alone the fans who obviously would make that swap.
You know, when Bruno made his debut against Wolves back in when he first arrived, was it 2019
February,
or whatever it was, 2020, was it 2020? Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing alongside the likes of Pereira, a completely out of sorts Lingard.
Yeah.
Shouting at him straight away, playing balls that no one's getting on the end of. You know, I think Marcus Rashford was carrying a knock, or he might not even played that game. I can't quite recall. Yeah. But you know, now he's got Sancho making runs. He's got Rashford when he comes back from injury making runs. He's got Cristiano Ronaldo or Edinson Cavani or Mason Greenwood in front of him. He's got Paul Pogba next to him, who was injured when he arrived. I mean, he's got world-class players around him.
Yeah.
So he's not. I can't see him sulking about that.
No.
If he does get penalties taken off him more. And I'm actually, I think you said this the other day, it'd be more of a shame if he lost free kicks, because I think Ronaldo still scores penalties.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's free kick record,
shit.
Yeah, it is dog shit. It's just, he scores impressive free kicks, and when he was at United last time, his record was quite good towards the end of his career here.
Yeah.
But now it's like 1 in 30 or 40 or something, which is just shocking. Danny Shields in the super chat says, nice to see Hendo back training in the vids.
That's a good point.
Him last season was clearly pushed David to work harder, come back early for pre-season to fight for his place. Going to push each other, and that's good for us. Are you buzzing about that?
I am a bit, yeah. I feel really bad for Dean Henderson. The timing of that, him getting in the same way I feel bad for, like you said, Van der Beek really needed the Euros to prove himself and to push on. Dean Henderson really needed to be fit at the start of the season to prove himself and push on. To get COVID, and obviously relatively severe long COVID by the sound of things, but the fact that, you know, he's a 24-year-old?
Yeah, he's the same age, I think, he's the same year and he's Rashford.
Yeah, so he's 23, 24 years old. not being able to play for like 6 weeks because of COVID. I had COVID a month ago, and I feel back to 100%. So he's obviously had some serious issues there. Hopefully he's vaccinated. Hopefully all those things. But yeah, it's a shame for him because that might be his chance this season.
Yeah,
that might be gone because De Gea is playing sensationally.
Yeah.
So he might just not get a chance at Manchester. There is a possibility that De Gea keeps playing the way he does, and Dean Henderson leaves at the end of the season, having never got that chance.
Yeah.
Because of the way it works with goalkeepers, and which would be terribly sad for him. But obviously, it's what comes, what works for United. But yeah, I do feel bad for him, and I'm glad to see him back.
With goalkeepers, it's not like midfielders or even defenders. You don't get a season or whatever to find your feet. Look at Ben Foster. Everyone thought he was going to be the next big thing. Van der Sar was getting close to retirement age. Ben Foster, I think he had England caps. He'd done well when he got on loan.
And looked good as well for United.
Looked good for United, and then he has a beginning of the season. I think the Charity Shield, I think it was against Chelsea. He didn't do himself any favours. That City, the 4-3 game, he all 3 got two of the 3 goals. You can blame him for trying to take Tevez on his box. We don't need to go there.
No.
And the Sunderland game as well, I think was the icing on the cake for Fergie, where it was like Kenwyne Jones beats him in the air or whatever, and he was like, never happened for him. Obviously, very good goalkeeper. So yeah, you're right, it can be quite fickle. We'll move on quickly. Sancho's back in training, which is obviously good news. Don't need to go into that. Just that it looks like he's recovered from his injury. Back in training. Obviously, he'll be in the mix for the Newcastle game. Maybe Ollie just looks at it and goes, listen, you just had a knock. Sit this one out because we have got options there. Jesse Lingard is one of those options. And when it comes to his contracts, there's a bit of intrigue now. It looks like he's rejecting a new United contract as he seeks assurances about his first team prospects. I mean, where do you stand with Jesse? Because, I mean, what assurances can he get?
I don't know.
I think it's difficult for Ollie to say, you're going to be in the team.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he would say that. And I don't know. I don't really get it. Partly, is this true? Secondly, if it is true, is he saying, I want you to tell me I'm playing? Or is he saying, I want you to tell me that even if I sign this contract, you'll let me go if I'm not playing? Because there's a potential that it's that way. It's not necessarily, if I sign this, you're playing me. He might just be saying, don't hold me to ransom using this contract. Well, I'll sign it so you can get a bit more money for me. But if a good offer comes in, you've got to let me go. It's potential that it's that side of things. So if people are saying, I saw a couple of people on social media saying, what right does Jesse have to claim this? He's not been good since. You don't know the situation that's going on. You don't know what's been said. Even if it's true and the wording of that is true, there are still many possibilities and sort of divergences that conversation could have and still hit the criteria of seeks assurance about his first team prospects. Interesting, I don't know. He's got 1 year left on his deal, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense in rejecting this because he's 28 years old. Yeah. He could just sign a new deal and not play football for the next 18 or 2 years. Sorry, you just said. Yeah. So him not signing this makes a lot of sense to me. I like Jesse Lingard. I think he does a lot of things right. He went through a bit of a time of it. And who knows? Who knows, man? Jesse Lingard, I'll tell you what, of all the players at Manchester United, Jesse Lingard's probably the one who's had to fight the hardest. Yeah. He went on loan, was it 4 times?
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah, got his chance at the age of 23, which is relatively old now, isn't it?
Very old.
To make your Premier League debut.
Yeah.
Got injured in his Premier League debut, if you remember, against Swansea.
Yeah.
Had to do it all over again, ends up, getting back into the team, scoring goals in cup finals, getting into England squad, getting into England team, going to your World Cup semis. Yeah. And then falling off a cliff, having mental health issues, being very open about it, rejuvenating himself again. He's one of those players that has had the sort of proverbial roller coaster career, hasn't it? So maybe there is another sort of high to come now. Maybe he could play a part in bringing some silverware.
The way he's playing for England, I imagine if he came back and won the World Cup with England, that'd be amazing. I'd love that for him. I think he needs to be playing wherever it is. So have one last shot at United. Go for it this season. You've had a great run up with West Ham. He's basically already at full speed from then. Yeah. Have a proper go this year. Make your place as a sort of the 12th man or whatever in that squad, and go from there.
We'll just wrap up now with Mason Greenwood, player of the month, 3 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, deserves it, doesn't he?
I mean, to be honest with you, I know. I think was it Mikel Antonio won the Premier League one?
I don't know if it's been announced yet, but he will do.
Right,
if he hasn't already. 4 goals and 3 assists. No one's beating that.
But Jesse Lingard. Mason Greenwood's been on fire.
Yeah.
Another one who had a bit of a time of it during last season.
Yeah.
Come back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Looks mint as well. Look at his movement, look at his finishing, the goals that he scored, the one against Leeds in particular.
Yeah.
It's an half chance, that.
Yeah.
He's got like one option that he can do and he does it.
Yeah.
It's just such a good finish, that. Absolutely loving his football, obviously, and doing really well. The fans love him.
And big goals as well, because I think I saw a stat, I think it was on Reddit. I can't remember who posted it, so apologies. But I think every single one of his goals this season has changed the state of the game as well.
Yeah,
so
the Leeds one was just after their equaliser.
Go ahead. That was to go from the one against Wolves was to go from 0-0 to 1-0 up. The one against Southampton was to equalise as well. So it's not like he's like, we're 4-0 up, he'll get the fifth against Leeds. He can score big goals at big times. The pressure doesn't get to him. Again, I said this before. At the moment, he's the first name on the team sheet for me. I know that he's got so much competition in his position. You got Sancho, Rashford to come back. Pogba plays on the left, so that he's got to fight Sancho directly. He scored 9 goals in his last 11 games for Man United. He has to start.
Yeah, good to point out. It's good that you pointed out. Sorry, because that almost went on the radar. End of last season, it was 6 and 8 or whatever it was. He was the most informed striker in the Premier League, I think. I think maybe Harry Kane was a bit more, but certainly some of his peers who played in the Euros, I know he got an injury, but they couldn't touch him. No. So Mason Greenwood, and you talk about ceilings, hell.
Yeah.
Now,
like the bloody Eden project.
Well said,
Big.
My brother. We're going to wrap up. Listen, I know there's been people commenting, and there's obviously been issues with a bit of a lag for some of you, so apologies there. We are trying to sort out the glitch.
It's a weird one. So for anyone who's watching, it doesn't affect everyone. If you go back through the video, it doesn't happen. It's not there when you watch the video back after we've stopped streaming. So it's quite a difficult one to pin down. So it's one of those that, yes, we're trying to fix it, but it's not obvious what's doing it, because normally with lag, you can either slow the audio down or slow the video down to catch up back with the audio, or it's a YouTube thing, or it's obviously a computer thing. It's a bit of a strange thing that doesn't affect everyone and isn't there afterwards. So we're trying to fix it. We'll get it fixed, but that's why it's persisted a little bit.
Have we tried switching off and switching on again? That's what I do.
I can switch you off in a minute, mate.
That's what I do for anything. That's my technical knowledge. Melissa Gretz in the super chat, just sent a super chat. Thanks for your support. Go and check out the merch, paddockmerch.com. We've got all the latest merch there. We've got Mason Greenwood ones, Bruno Fernandes ones, Cristiano Ronaldo ones. All these tricky red ones. You see some of the items there. So go and have a look at them. There's a link in the description. If you're not doing so as well, give us a subscribe. We've got over 600,000 subs now. I want to get to 700k, or we want to get to 700k by the end of the season.
Amazing.
I want to see United lift the treble and us get to 700k in the same week.
Lift the treble, all three at once.
Like
that.
Yeah. I think we can do it. So thanks for your support as always. It's me on the news in the morning. We've got a video. McCall's done a video, hasn't he? Yeah. When's that out?
Should be out tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah.
And who's he talking about?
Ronaldo.
Who?
Top 10 Ronaldo moments for Manchester United. Some good ones in there. A couple you might have forgotten about as well, so check that out.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, make sure you check it out. That's been Joe Smith. Go and find him where?
Joe Smith 93 on Instagram and Twitter.
I've been Jay Martin. You know where to find me. This has been Paddock Live. Thanks for watching.